what's up everyone? I'm Nick. This is Swiftful Thinking, where we cover all things Swift and SwiftUI related. And in this video, we're going to cover button styles, creating a custom style for your button. So if you have been using SwiftUI buttons, you probably noticed that when you click or tap on a button, it has a default highlight to it. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes we actually want that highlight. But a lot of times, especially in more advanced production apps, you actually want to customize how that is supposed to look and feel to the user. And in SwiftUI, the way to do that is actually by customizing the button style. And I don't think the code in this video is necessarily advanced or super challenging, but I think trying to customize the style of your buttons generally is a more advanced topic that beginners aren't very worried about. So that's why it's being thrown into this video, and I think it ends up being super useful to all of your apps because pretty much every app I've ever made uses buttons, and I would love to be able to customize the look and feel. So with that said, let's jump into Xcode, customize some buttons.
All right, welcome back everyone. So I'm back in our Xcode project that we made in the last video, and I'm just going to right click on the navigator, create a new file. This again will be a SwiftUI view, and let's call this ButtonStyle Bootcamp. Go ahead and click create. Let's click resume on the canvas to make sure we're all connected. And this is something that I wasn't really going to cover, but I wanted to cover this because buttons are obviously used throughout your entire app, and it is really helpful to get a good grip on how your buttons are going to look, how they're going to act, and that's what we're going to jump into today. So let's start very simply by creating a button on the screen. Let's open the parentheses, let's use the action and label. And for the label, I'm going to say maybe click me. And let's add a bunch of view modifiers that we normally do. So let's do a font of headline, a foreground color of white, a frame with a height of 55, a frame with a max width of infinity. Let's do a background of color.blue, a corner radius of 10. Let's do a dot shadow with maybe color. Let's do color.blue with a dot opacity, maybe 0.3. Let's give it a radius of 10, an X of 0, and a Y of 10. I think that might look good. And then finally, around the entire button, I'm just going to add some padding. Let's do maybe 40 just to press it in, just to push it in a little bit. All right, so we have our very basic button here, and if I click play on the live preview and I click on the button, it has a very standard highlight function to it. So when I click and hold on it, we have this highlight, and you've probably been getting this on your buttons since you started SwiftUI, because every button by default comes like this. And some people really don't like this, and because of that, a lot of people end up using the tap gesture instead of buttons, because tap gestures don't have this highlight function. But what most people don't know is that we can customize this style, this button style here. So on this button here, I'm going to add .ButtonStyle. And if I start typing in button style, we can see that there are a couple here to choose from. So I'm going to start with the plain button style, open and close parentheses. And if I click on this, we can see that it is just slightly different than where we started. There's a little bit of a highlight, but it's not as strong. This is the plain button style. And then of course we can switch back to the default button style, which is our original style, which has a little harsher highlight to it. And these are two okay options, but this is not what we're looking for. We want to customize our own style. So the code for this is going to look a lot like the last video where we created a view modifier. So outside of this view here, I'm going to create a struct. I'm going to call this button, let's call it pressable style. And let's conform to button style. Open the brackets. And just like a view needs a body, a button style needs a make body. So if I start typing in body, we get this pop-up make body, and I click enter here. So this make body gives us the buttons configuration, which is pretty unique. This actually comes, I believe, from UIKit. And if we look at the configuration and we press the period on it, we can see that there is an isPressed Boolean, which tells us whether or not the button is currently pressed. And there's a label, which is the label that we're putting onto the button. So all of this is the label. All right, so this make body needs to return some view, just like the body returns some view. And so to start, let's just return the configuration.label because we know the label is a view. So if I do this as it is right now, it should give us the exact button as is. So let's try putting this button pressable style onto our button. So down here where we have the default button style, let's delete it. Let's do button pressable style, open and close parentheses. And if I click resume on the canvas, we can now see that if I click on this button, actually nothing's happening. And that's because we haven't customized this style at all. So we've gotten rid of the default highlights and made it nothing. And while we're here, I actually want to change this. Let's call this pressable button style. I think that's a better naming methodology. Pressable button style. So I'm going to put that down here as well. Let's click resume. All right, so now we have our button pressable style. It's not doing anything. Let's customize it a little bit. Let's start with maybe the opacity. So on here, I'm gonna call it .opacity. Just like we add any other modifier here, I'm just gonna add the opacity onto this. And we're gonna animate it like we do anything else. We're gonna say configuration.isPressed. So if it's pressed, let's do opacity of 0.8. Otherwise, 1.0. And just like that, we customized our view, our button style. And when I click it, it's going to change the opacity. You guys can barely see it. Let's maybe make it like 0.3 just so you guys can see it better. But it will change the opacity to 0.3. It's a pretty common one. A lot of people do maybe like 0.9, so it's just slightly pressed. Another pretty common one is .brightness. And we could do configuration.isPressed. And if it's pressed, let's do 0.05, otherwise 0. So very similar and very subtle. We can click it and it'll get a little bit brighter. You can barely see it there. If I make this like 0.5, you'll see it much stronger. Usually on button styles, you want to keep it pretty subtle. So something like 0.05 or 0.1, which is pretty subtle. And possibly the most important of these configurations that you guys are going to want to use is the .scale. So we can say configuration.isPressed. And if it's pressed, we can scale it down maybe to 80%, 0.8. And if it's not pressed, we'll keep it at 1.0. So now we can get the scale effect. When we click on our button, it scales down like we're clicked on it. And 0.8 is probably too harsh. So we should probably do something like 0.9 and maybe do the opacity as well. I think that will give us a really cool button style here. And the last thing I want to point out here is that just like in our view, we can add initializers that we do when we want to create a view. We can add initializers to our button style. So maybe, for example, we want to change how much we want to scale the button so that some buttons scale more than others. Well, instead of creating multiple pressable button styles, we could just pass in some sort of initializer. Something like let scaled amount of type CG float. And we'll take the scale amount and make that our 0.9 for the scale effect. So now every time we call pressable button style, we need to add a scaled amount. And we can see it down here. We get our error message. Let's fix it. And we can add a custom scaled amount every single time. So let's do maybe 0.5 just to exaggerate it a little bit. Let's click resume. And now it should scale down to half its size, which is a little too aggressive, but you guys can at least see that it's working. And if I change this to 0.9, it again is working. And more often than not, you'll probably want to use a default value here. So we can create a custom initializer and add in our scaled amount and set it equal to 0.9 so that if we don't add a scaled amount, by default it will be 0.9. We can set self.scaledAmount equal to the scaled amount in our initializer. So again, we have this scaled amount, but now we can delete it, and by default it will be 0.9. And if you were with me in the last video, we created a view modifier, and then we also created an extension for how we could very easily add it to our view. So we could do the same thing here. So we have our button style, and we can create an extension for view, open the brackets. Let's create a func. Let's call this with pressable style, open close parentheses. Let's have it return some view, open the brackets. And just like the body returns some view, this function is going to return some view. And this will be called from within a view itself. So we can actually just return self. And then we're going to add the .ButtonStyle, of course, and we can finally add our pressable button style, open close parentheses. And because this is returning self within itself, the system's actually smart enough to know that it is self, so we can actually just delete this word here and just add button style to self, and it'll understand that. So now when we're within a view, we can just call with pressable style. So instead of adding this button style here and comment that out, let's resume to make sure it commented out. If I click it, it's back to our default style, and we can simply call .with pressable style. And now if I click it, we're back to our scaling custom pressable style. And finally, this pressable style, let's add the initializer here. So in this pressable style, let's add the scaled amount. Let's make that a parameter of this function. Here we'll add a CG float. We'll pass in the scaled amount here. And then on this function, we'll actually set the default to 0.9. So on this function, let's not give it a default anymore. Let's put the default closer to the user here. So now when we call with pressable style, we can actually do with pressable style, or we could do with pressable style with a scaled amount of whatever we want. We could even increase it maybe 1.2 if when we click it we want it to scale upward, so it gets bigger when we click it. And now obviously this button style is not the only button style you're ever going to want to make, but this is a very common one. And pretty much all you need to know is that to create a button style, we create a custom button style, we return the label as is basically, and then we can configure it whether or not it's pressed. So if it's pressed, we can add certain modifiers, and if it's not pressed, we can add other modifiers. So these modifiers obviously work just like any other animating modifiers on our views, on our screens. So this should not be that new to you guys. And finally, we can add a quick extension to our view just to make the button pressable style a little easier accessible with just a quick .with pressable style. And if I come down here, we now have our with pressable style. And just to show off a little bit, if you were with me in the last video, we can actually just on this text add with default button formatting that we made in the last video, and then we use our with pressable style. And you guys can see now, and I'll change this to 0.9. Let's give this a font of maybe headline. And you guys can see now just how beneficial having these custom modifiers are, because we can create these really awesome effects and views with just literally one line of code. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Now you know how to create custom button styles. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm Nick, this is Swiftful Thinking, and I'll see you in the next video.